Today I want to talk to you about the 3 biggest reasons why people pay too much when buying property. Number 1, they justify that they can afford it. Let me tell you a little story. Husband and wife couple do their budget at home and then they head off to speak to their mortgage broker. Their mortgage broker has a suite of lenders available to them. Now when they sit down and they crunch the numbers and they work out exactly how much they can spend, the mortgage broker tells them that they can spend $600,000. But wait, they had in their mind that they only wanted to spend $500,000. So they say, thanks to the mortgage broker, 500's our budget, let's go off and do our research. And so they go into the search engine portal, they put their $500,000 price point in the areas that they want to look in. Now, the challenge with this is when they actually go out and inspect these properties, guess what? The actual properties that they're looking at are actually priced around the $550 to $600 range. Now, the entry level says to them that they should be able to afford it, but actually when they go out and speak to the agent, the actual price point of those properties is usually higher than what's loaded into the search engine. Very frustrating, I know. So what actually happens then, if they go back and have a look at properties that are in their $500,000 price point, they're not happy because they've seen the $600,000. Same with buying a car. You know, when you see that little bit extra or you get those extra benefits, it's hard to justify the original car that you're looking at. So they justify it to themselves because they then think, well, actually, the mortgage broker told me we could afford up to $600. The bank was willing to lend us that much. So they have this challenge in their mind and they justify it to themselves to wanting to be able to do that. So they pay too much. And potentially, you know, as starting a family, they might struggle with servicing that mortgage over a period of time. So lesson number 1 is stick to your budget, make sure you factor in all of those changes into your future budget to know that you can afford it. Now, if you can afford it with all those changes and you can still justify it to yourself, maybe you'll buy that property. Point number 2, impatience. You've heard me talk about the fear of missing out. And it's a big message at the moment in some marketplaces. People get sick of going out on Saturday mornings looking at open for inspections. So when they find a property that ticks most of their boxes or all of their boxes, that's that impatient element that says to them they get competitive and they basically see the property price go further than what they were willing to spend in the first instance. They get caught up in the process and they pay too much. So don't be impatient. More good properties come along. I can guarantee you, I've been doing this for 20 years. There's always great properties that come into the market. Now, my final point is this whole idea of falling in love with the property. Now, when someone goes and has a look at an asset or a property and they just love it, there's an emotional attachment, there's a status attachment to it. They're absolutely engaged. They can picture the dinner parties that they're going to host and they can picture the kids out in the backyard playing on the swings. You know, they really get themselves in that property, yet they haven't secured it. So come the day of the auction or come the process of buying that property, they always go over their budget. And that's this fear of missing out element that we're also talking about. You combine those things together and that creates this whole concept of paying too much or paying over fair market value for what that asset's worth. It's really important to understand that when you're going into the property market. So those are the 3 reasons why you pay too much when buying property.